So it seems that every YouTuber in the Transformers community is talking about how the franchise is at a bit of a low point, which is unsurprising considering the recent news that there's no sequel planned for Transformers 1 and the cancellation of Transformers Reactivate. While the franchise still seems to be doing well with comics and toys, it's gone pretty stagnant with the movies, shows, and video games. However, I still think there are plenty of projects Hasbro can do for those mediums that, while not single-handedly saving the franchise, will still be a step in the right direction. So, here are some potential ideas. Starting off with the movies, I honestly don't think they should move forward with the Transformers X G.I. Joe movie. I think this is just one of the worst times to do a crossover between the two, since G.I. Joe has been pretty stagnant lately, and Transformers is slowly declining. I'd much rather have G.I. Joe be rebooted with its own movie, building up to its eventual crossover with Transformers. And let's be real, if an origin movie about Optimus and Megatron underperformed, then a Transformers crossover with G.I. Joe will probably make like $2 right now. Instead, I think we should make a solo movie for the Decepticons for the sequel to Rise of the Beasts. We already know that Rise of the Beasts is supposed to be part 1 of a trilogy, so I'd have the second movie to sort of be an anti-Rise of the Beasts, with the Decepticons meeting the Predacons while searching for the Autobots. Then the third movie can be a culmination of the 2 prior films, with an all-out war between the Autobots and Maximals versus the Decepticons and Predacons. I'd also make Transformers 1 and the Knightverse part of the same continuity. That way we can sort of continue Transformers 1's story without making an outright sequel. It would just add so much more weight to the live-action films. Can you imagine a scene where Optimus has a flashback to D16 before we cut back to him staring at the Megatron we all know? Moving on to the TV shows, I think what most of the community wants right now is a Beast Wars type reinvention, because that's what the franchise has been lacking recently, with the movies clinging onto the Bayverse and the shows clinging onto G1 designs and ideas. Honestly, thinking of a reinvention of the franchise while still attracting casual audiences is kind of hard. So here are a few ideas I spitballed. I think a Transformers anthology series exploring different characters, both obscure and well-known, for each episode, maybe with each episode having a different animation style as well. I think there's a lot of interesting ideas you can have with this concept, such as an episode where drift defects from the Decepticons in favor of the Autobots, a Jetfire episode in World War II, a Cybertron murder mystery with Nightbeat as the detective, and so much more. Another idea is Transformers Zombies, which is basically what the name suggests. I just think a Transformers zombie apocalypse is a cool concept that could be explored more in the franchise, and I think this is one of the only projects where it could actually benefit from being told from the point of view of the humans. Lastly, a pretty simple solution to bringing Transformers back to relevancy with the general audience is to just make an adaptation of the ongoing Transformers Skybound run. It's doing really well in the comic book industry right now, so why not adapt it in the form of a show? Both Skybound and Robert Kirkman are getting pretty popular right now due to the success of Invincible, so promoting this as one of their works is bound to get some attention. Seeing how a lot of fans are asking for another big Transformers anime since the Unicron trilogy, and considering how prevalent anime is in animated shows nowadays, they could get Studio Trigger, the studio behind the 40-year anniversary, to adapt the Skybound comics. Lastly, moving on to the video games, I'm going to be honest, I'm not all that familiar with the gaming side of Transformers. However, I do have one solid idea for a Transformers game. That being a create your own character game set during the days before the war, with you being able to choose your own alt mode. The enemies of the game would be the corrupt Cybertron government, and you as a lone mercenary will try to take it down. However, during the climax of the game, the Decepticon movement is formed, and you realize you might have just helped in creating a far greater threat. So, you come to one final choice. Will you become an Autobot or a Decepticon? Anyway, that's all the ideas for this video. While the Transformers franchise has stagnated a bit, I really don't think it's dead, and this video is just the tip of the iceberg of the potential future of the franchise. Leave your thoughts in the comments below and have a good one.